Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of Steam Through the Years. And today we're playing Narcissus. It is from back 2005, 2007 era kind of thing, and it is a Japanese game. And I don't remember what it's about because I downloaded this ages ago. Now, I do know that there's a part 1 and a part 2 game. This one's the side 2. Okay, so like translation. I'd rather have something easier voice.
眩しかった日のこと、そんな冬の日のこと。
Why are my head?
Because she just submitted the shit, so they count it as like you
Jack for PlayStation's on. Why is it coming from my computer? It's not even doing the noise it's supposed to.
確かに幼い頃から丈夫な方じゃなかった。
Okay, I don't know how well my audio is going to compare to the audio of this game, but this audio is loud. It's been so many seasons, so many white overcast skies, without the want or need to converse with anybody.
私の英語の教科書は1年生の中間テスト以降、そこで
That is weird.
私
My
の
time
時間
seems
も
to come to
止ま
an
ったら
end.
しい。
I wonder what this is about. It seems like a cute little anime. 8 years later, early summer 2004, protagonist. Summer, flowing sweat. The gigantic electronic scoreboard on the driver's license examination facility lit up all at once. My eyes and everyone else's looked up at our respective numbers. 237, 237, and some of the 8 columns of lit text. Sure enough, my examination number was shining in the midst. Clickety-clack. Near empty train car, perhaps thanks to the beautiful afternoon. Almost alone in that train car, I was headed back home from the examination hall. My left hand held a new traffic regulations handbook, and my breast pocket held my brand new driver's license. Oh, so she was getting her driver's license. In middle school? So now I've gotten a license as well. I muttered somewhat happily. There was no strong feelings behind it. I never particularly wanted to drive a car. I never particularly had any motive for it. It was just that my colleagues in the Technical Institute both recommended that I at least get a driver's license. That night, when I told my parents I'd gotten my license, they merely replied with, "I see." When I asked if I could borrow the car just for a test run, they instantly curtly just said one thing: no. While I didn't really want to drive a car or anything, the response was all too expected. Those were my parents for you. The next day, I woke with chest pain and went to the hospital. Sickness and I generally had nothing to do with each other, which is why I found the ER waiting room to be utterly boring. Just when I thought they were through examining me, they ordered an x-ray and some blood tests. Then they left. And again, I was left waiting for a long, long time. I already polished off 3 volumes of Shonen Jump. I was just about to start on a 4th one. They admitted me to the hospital right then and there. Oh no. What's wrong? I'm immediately suspecting my parents. It's like, what's going on here? What is going on? I seized up my new license, which still lay snugly in my breast pocket. Would have to wait a long time for its turn to come. Protagonist, autumn 2020. Oh, 2004. Right around when the all too noisy cicadas had finally gone silent, I once again found myself in the hospital as per usual. Of course, it wasn't as if I'd been there the entire time. I came and went, a futile cycle. My first surgery was a month before. After that, I started doing the 5-minute commute to and from the hospital by moped. And from then on, I was hospitalized, discharged, ordered to clinic, and hospitalized again and again and again. Well, I still had no clue what PET or ERESA stood for. In no time at all, several months had already passed. As my appetite decreased, my medications increased, I could feel my own physical strength atrophying away. I kept imagining that my legs were getting thinner, but the needle of the weight scale said rudely informed me, it's not just your imagination. And yet I kept looking on at myself with detached interest, as if I were happening to somebody else entirely, as if I were looking at a scene on TV or at the like. My mind could not grasp what had so suddenly happened to my body. Nothing within me was telling me that this was real at all. And that's why, even though it's all happening to me, I kept looking at it as if it were happening to somebody far away. Protagonist, Winter 2004. A day of winter, around when Christmas trees had vanished from the streets. I was discharged home as a kid, kind of year's end treat. It seemed like an exercise in total transience, but still it made me slightly happy. I traveled back to a home I had not seen in a long time in the midst of freezing rain. Strangely enough, my entire family was there. My parents, who had never so much talked to me, came out to meet me with terrible stilted smiles. My little sister, whom I never had a pleasant word, had made my favorite ice cream stew. What the hell is ice cream stew? And fried shrimp just for me. What is ice cream? Oh, I'm saying ice cream. Cream stew. My mind was put ice cream. They made me sit at the table. They peeled tangerines for me. They were cruelly kind. It was an impressive display. Oh, that fake niceness. At this point, a little thought occurred to me about my new driver's license, which was still stuffed away in my pocket. Have we not changed clothes in the months that we've been there? Have we not? That perhaps things would end for the license without ever having known any use. And surrounded by a trio of stilted, strained smiles, I kept that thought as if it were someone else's business, with dispassion, ambiguity, and total disinterest. Some of these words I haven't used in a hot minute. January 2005. Protagonist began. A new year began, and I returned to the hospital. But on this day, instead of my usual 4F room, I ended up in a conference room of sorts. They took me there. And then my father and the doctors had a little talk. I joined in. Well, they talked to me. So this was their so-called announcement. They said it was in a terribly roundabout fashion. They told me that I was going to die. Well, crap. I see. That was my only reply. I had no other words. It was the only thing that left my mouth from beginning to the end. Doctor's ballpoint pens flew across paper as if in response to my words. They were probably hospice enrollment procedures, business to the last. My father was the same. So it's this simple. It was the only real thought I had. Damn, what's wrong with our girl? That day I was transferred from room 4F to 7F, from a 6-person room to a private room. It was a little different from the other wards this 7F. First of all the floors were sparkling clean, and second of all, the ceiling was higher than I'd ever seen it. The rooms were very nice, and had large windows from which the warm daylight streamed in as if by design. But the windows only opened a little. I tested them out, and my head would just barely fit out one. The color of my ID bracelet had changed as well. The bracelet I'd worn ever since the first hospitalization, the one that had my name and blood type reported on it. Its color had changed from blue to white. A high ceiling, a white vinyl bracelet, a window that would not open more than 15 centimeters. The TV program celebrated the new year that was still playing when I was transferred to this 7F. And it was at the dawn of that very year that I met her for the first time. Ooh, who do we meet? Who did we meet?
Narcissus.
Narcissus.
冬7回。
That's a cute anime. I didn't think there's gonna be this low amount for giving us the option of having it voiced or not voiced. I was hoping a little bit more voice acting, but it's still pretty good. There was this kind of like lounge at one side of the corridor, away from the nurse's station. This generally deserted place held a few couches and chairs, as well as a large TV. Stupid programs commemorating the new year were still being broadcast on that 28-inch screen. There was a girl who looked absolutely bored watching that absolutely boring TV. Short, in pink pajamas, a white bracelet on her wrist, just like mine. Impressively long hair that almost reached down to her hips. Oh no, is she terminal as well? Hey, do you find that interesting? There was no deep purpose in the asking, simply, I have nothing else to do, so I started talking to her.
別に。
Was her only reply to me. She didn't turn to face me at all. She kept looking on with boredom at that TV as if I didn't even exist. Then don't watch it. As I thought this, I sat down in a chair next to her. And side by side we watched TV. Nothing else to do. Nothing we could do. So we sat there silently and watched TV. New Year's celebration programs as per usual, a useless array of comedians and oddities. And every so often the MC's stupid shrill laughter, resonating dryly in this white, sun-drenched lounge.
ね
Say, tell me. The girl suddenly stared at me, but her eyes were always glued to the TV screen.
え、あなた、何回目？
Oh, shoot! She thinks we're one of those. She's probably one of those, but we're not one of those. We're just terminally ill. What do you mean by that?
ここに7回に来たの。そう、初めてなんだね。
So she'd seen my confusion about her question and come to the right conclusion.
じゃあ、他に誰もいないし、私の役目だから。
Duty?
そういうルールなの。
Nodding slightly, she explained that the rule was that someone here, 7F, should tell the newcomers the truth. I knew nothing. I understood even less. As if I did not even exist, she slowly started her speech.
それじゃあ、
Her words spoken methodically, one by one, were a little different from all the ones I've heard from the doctors about this place. In the business-like, crisp syntaxes they told me, this place is where one waits for medical advances. This is a place where one heals one hurt, and perhaps they might have correct in general sense. But according to the girl, that was just the party line. The truth was that the 7Fs were the only place in the hospital where medical treatments did not take place. This was just a place where you wait for your life to come to an end. Those were her words to me. I thought so as well. I felt it even before she'd spoken.
私、2回目だ。こ
Second time doing what?
こに来るの。
And then she explained to me that nobody on 7F stayed here from initial hospitalization all the way till death. While there was zero possibility of being cured, you were sent home if your condition was stable. But if it worsened again, you could be returned here. The cycle ended only in death. Whether it was at home or here on 7F, always one of the two, you were going to die. No way to escape it, it seemed. And with that meaning permeating her every word, she informed me that this was her second time up here.
じゃあ、一度しか言わないから。ここからは。
She continued speaking, all while staring at the blank TV screen. This wasn't idle chit-chat about when lights out was, or where the kitchen was, or anything like that. This was something completely different. No crap, girl. Of course it's different. The third time you are discharged home, resign yourself. There won't be a fourth time. You will never go home again. If you ever want to escape, head towards the B station, not the A station. Eat nothing. This is the simplest shortcut. You leave the smallest burden on your family that way. As if she had packed to the brim with matters like those. This was probably an oral tradition, relevant only to those who were going to die, and kept by those who came here for that purpose. So this is the duty you were talking about?
そうよ。いつかあなたも初めて来た人には伝えてね。
With those words, she slowly stood up. She casually tossed her long hair, and it grazed my nose.
じゃあ、検温の時間だから。
Then she turned her back and started walking down the corridor. Now completely deserted, save for me, the lounge shelter on the right, the TV and the white flowers by the windowsill. In the end, she didn't even look at me once. A few days later, New Year's celebrations were over, and in the middle of high school students were beginning a new term. And just as ever, she and I sat in this lounge, staring blankly at the TV. This is boring.
そうね。
So we said, but both of us kept our eyes on the screen. Hey, is this place always this way?
質問の意味がわからない。
I'm getting how it is always deserted. Other than nurses, doctors, and help staff, other than her, I've not seen a single person. Did everybody go home for the new year or something?
その理由を知りたいの？
Everybody gone. They go bye-bye. Oh, well, I didn't mean.
じゃあ言わない。
We who disinterestedly tossed back and forth this exchange that cannot even be called a conversation. The slight breeze coming in from the window that would not open more than 15 centimeters. From time to time, her hair would sway, as if in agreement the flowers of the windowsill would too. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this background music. If you lower it, it doesn't sound too bad. This is how we killed time day after day, staring at that boring good-for-nothing TV. Click, click, click. Oh, here's the two of you. An elderly nurse said as she rushed towards us. From what I'd seen of the nurse's station, she apparently was the charge nurse of 7F. Well, Miss Setsumi, any fever?
大丈
I'm
夫。
fine. No
出
fever.
てない。
Setsumi. So that was her name. You really shouldn't be moving around like this. You understand? Everyone's worried about you.
別にいいよ。
Come now, what kind of answer is that? Oh, children these days. The nurse continued to scold and henpeck for some while longer. And the girl named Setsumi, who pretended not to notice it at all. She simply stared straight forward at the boring TV, paying that fussy nurse as little heed as she could. I'll be coming later to draw some blood, okay? With those words, the charge nurse went back to the nurse's station. Hey, you know, don't mind if I tell you Setsumi? I asked as they stared at her white flannel bracelet, at the blood type and the name written there. Is something the matter, Setsumi?
どうして呼び捨てなの？
Why are you calling me that?
年下のくせに。
You're younger than me. Why am I younger than you?
別に。そう思っただけ。
It wasn't that I offended her that she called me younger than her. It was just that no matter how I look at it, I thought I was 5 to 6 years older than she was. That's why I took out my driver's license from my breast pocket and handed it directly to her. See, I may not seem it, but I'm 20.
やっぱり年下よ。
I'm so confused because when this game started, it talked about fucking middle school. And now we're just drastically 20. I'm very confused. Kelly took a glance at my eyes before handing back to me. I don't really get what you're saying.
どうでもいいじゃない。少し上なだけよ。
She murmured it expressionlessly as ever. Her eyes were fixed on that boring TV, all right, but I also felt she was gazing at something far away. I feel like she's gonna die before we die. After they'd taken my AM vital signs, I snuck past the nurses and boarded the elevator. When I got to 1F, I walked out the outpatient clinic and walked outside the hospital. Well, shoot, why are we listening to her advice? Michael was a place I'd been told about not long ago. The faraway B station, not the nearby A station. Wasn't that I wanted to escape or anything. At 7F or at home, none of us died anywhere else. That's where I've been told. And this B station with the girl's name Sasumi had apparently been to many times. That's why at least just once I want to see this place with my own eyes. Yeah, it's not as if there's going to be a guard on duty. Even though we were inhabitants of 7F, different from other inpatients. Thinking of vague maybes so early in the morning, I headed towards the station. My legs settled into a lazy gait as I glanced sidelong at the people commuting to school or work. After about 25 minutes of this, I arrived in front of the station. Roughly 4 bus stops away when I calculated it out. Wow, there's a lot of people here. It was my first impression of B station. I stood out a bit because I was in pajamas, but I felt as if I could just buy a subway ticket, I'd be able to go anywhere, no question about it. I still had no idea what I'd been told to go to B station, the A station. It looked as if it would be easy to escape if I really wanted to. She must have come here many times, so why did she remain in 7F right now? The station in the early morning. I stood there thinking these thoughts as I watched the people rapidly pass me by. At night, after lights out, bored of manga and unable to sleep, I wandered through the hospital alone. Certainly it wasn't supposed to be allowed after lights out. We of 7F have a peculiar kind of liberty. So in the presence of no light and the pitch-black stillness of the lounge, that's where I found her. Hey, have you been looking outside today? The darkened interior, she did answer me, but she continued to stare out the window as if she had not. I immediately launched into what had happened today. Oh, by the way, I went out to the station today. The B station, just as you taught me.
So,
But her response did not change. I thought she'd reacted with something because she'd been there before, too. Now I've thought about it. Did the fact that she was here mean that she had no intention of escaping in the first place?
私、
私.
もうすぐ帰れるの。
What? She opened her mouth abruptly and spoke smooth, seeing right through me.
でも、次で3回目だから、
Next time will be the third time.
もう会
We
えな
may
いか
not
も
see
ね。
each other again. Probably what she was talking about was a temporary discharge from the hospital. She told me that nobody was discharged from 7F more than 3 times. Unlike the elderly, given the progress of our diseases, that meant all the more to the young people like us. Her "we may not see each other again" was filled with that kind of meaning.
あなたは、どっち
Decided on?
どっちで死ぬつもりってこと？
Where you're going to die. When the word death comes up so abruptly, it was at a total loss for words. I don't know, I haven't thought about it yet.
そう、
I see.
まだ1回目だもんね。
What does she mean by that? She murmured, looking desolate. Certainly wasn't if I was going to exist here forever. Just like everybody else, I would be admitted and discharged, slowly grow weakened someday. I would have to choose in the end, here on 7F or at home surrounded by those fake smiles.
私は、だけど、
But I don't want to die here
もう
either.
いいや。
Then what will you do?
別に、
I guess the only thing.
自力で歩けるうちに
is to go somewhere while I still have the strength to. Somewhere? You can't be. The girl who was staying here on 7F when she could have escaped any time she wanted. When I thought of that, do you have any other place to go?
あなた、私を引き止めたいの？
What?
それとも
Is this the premise of the second game? Oh no, that's not what I was thinking about.
じゃあ聞かない。
She was staring out the window as she spoke, dispassionate, not looking at me once, the same as ever. But then, just then, her usual expressionless face looked so very sad to me. I was a newcomer to 7F, just recently taught that the third discharge was the last, and she was a girl who soon was to be discharged for the second time. I did not feel anything real about what was happening to me, but I would, too, have to wear such a face someday. We should go with Pookie. The rain at morning twilight. Sometimes sleet, sometimes snow, always coming down. When I was sitting there watching TV in my usual place, 7F felt as devoid of people as it always had.
面白い。
No, completely boring. She walked to my side. Saying no more, she sat down in a chair next to me. That was how we began watching TV on this very day as well. She was probably in the same boat as me. Nothing else to do, nothing we could do. Why are we repeating lines? I know this is an old game, but Jesus Christ. Oh. I'd never seen her respond to the TV before. Is something the matter?
別に。
Those were her usual words, but her response was anything but usual. And I looked at the screen, interested in anything. There was nature scenes being displayed on the TV, beautiful hills and dales burgeoning with trees and flowers. A vast spread of white flowers in the midst. Crocuses. I remembered those flowers from somewhere. They looked very similar to the white flowers that decorated the windowsills. Could those be the same flowers? You know, the same flowers as over there? I pointed to the flowers by the window as I said this.
違う。
Huh? Really?
種類は同じ
They're
だ
of
け
the
ど、
same variety, but they're not strictly the
厳密
same.
に言えば違う。
She glanced at the flowers by the window for a second and then went back to gazing at the TV. She told me that they were different, but I couldn't see the distinction between the two. And it meant nothing to me whether flowers were the same or different. What did it mean that was that? What did mean something was this girl who usually never said a word more than she needed to. She was conversing in a rare form today, which is why I decided to follow along. Do you happen to know a lot about them? Flowers, that is.
別に。
Really? But I don't see the difference. The flowers on the screen and the flowers in the vase to her side. I continued to talk as I stared vacantly at the two. Look, are these orchids or lilies? See, they're pure white, right? I had no interest, yet I kept trying to make conversation. But she resumed her silence soon enough. With the usual lack of expression, continued just staring at the boring TV screen. Just when I turned back to the TV, resigned to the fact I'd get nothing more of her.
ナルキソシ。
Narcissus. I forgot that is a flower. What?
ナルキソシよ。
Those are narcissus. And she answered. She turned to face me for the first time. Look how pretty she is. Look at her. Her hip-length hair swayed. She pointed at the TV screen and looked at me. The body bracelet on her wrist was white. Her skin was white, just like the flowers on screen. And I swore I could see a tiny smile. And that face that was looking at me for the first time. Chapter 2. A few days later, plunging further into the depths of winter, During this time that the rest of the world called exams period, we're sitting watching TV, same as ever. This is boring. So it is. The exchange could not even be called a conversation. We spent all of our days in this fashion, killing time without meaning our own purpose. Speaking of which, when is it for you?
今日よ。
I see, so it's today. The word that today was a temporary discharge that she alluded to earlier.
もう会えないかもね。
Yeah, I guess that's true. Because even if she were to be readmitted to 7F, that would be her last time. And in that time, I'd probably be discharged and readmitted myself. It didn't seem like the things could be timed so we could see each other again.
あなた決まった？
But where I'm going to die?
うん。
No, not yet.
そう。
She nodded somewhat sadly, the expression of someone being discharged for the second time. I still felt nothing about the situation, and I hadn't heard from the doctors about my first discharge. Come to think of it, I wonder if she finally decided what her own answer to the dilemma would be. Click, click, click.
説明支度できたわよ。
A lady came up with us with these words. This was probably her mother. She nodded slightly at me. I did not rise.
じゃ
We'll be leaving soon.
あそろそろ行くけど用意はいい？うん。それでは失礼します。
Wait, we're a boy? That makes it. I don't know if that makes more sense that our family hates us or not. She nodded slightly at me again and then turned to leave this place. She did stretch out her hand towards that girl who was likely her daughter. The girl did not move at all. She stayed rooted in her chair even after her mother had grabbed her hand.
どうかしたの説明？少し苦しい。
What?
苦しいって
Your
どこ
abdomen?
が？
My chest.
ちょっと待ってなさい。すぐに先生呼んでくるから。
He took off, and visitor used slippers in a sprint towards the North Station. Now that I think about it, what do we wear in a hospital in Japan? Because I know in Japan they're very they have a lot of traditions. I know that they have house shoes, like slippers. So I wonder if they have the same thing for visitors in hospitals. There was but two things left in this place, her and me, both in chairs. Didn't know anything about her disease or its status. The only things I knew were courtesy of her white ID bracelet. Her name was Satsumi, and her blood type was O. Inhabitants of 7F, and she was older than me, even if just by a little. Hey, do you want to lie down over there until the doctors come? Pointing to the corner of the lounge at the couch. That's something I had never seen. It was a pretty back after all.
別にもう平気。
Saying those words and nothing more, she stood up quickly. Don't do anything foolish. She was already halfway down the corridor before I could finish the sentence. She's gonna dip. Nightfall, after lights out. Bored of reading manga as usual, I wandered through the darkened hospital. The usual lounge now pitch black from the absence of light. That's where I found her. Hey, so you're still here?
Mm.
What's up? Not feeling well again? That's all she said as she stared out the window. So her discharge had been postponed after all. No one knew what the next chance would come, but it will probably be weeks from now, not days. Hey, it could be. You feigned illness today? No, that probably wasn't the right way to put it. See, you can just say that you weren't sick all the time. What I'm saying is you didn't want to leave the hospital, did you?
意味がわからないわよ。
Because there's no afterwards for you now. There's no answer to my question in her silence. She'd asked me many times before about where I wanted to die. It's always been that I didn't know yet and that she didn't want to die at home or here on 7F. So you have no other place to go after all?
だったらどうなのよ。
No, nothing. The familiar lounge flooded in darkness. The familiar stance looking out the window without so much as acknowledging my existence. This place would come impossible as extinguished lights in spite of the fact that someone loved me and myself. This was a tangent point between what was normal and what was not. On top of that, we were inhabitants of 7F, bereft of any chance save one, death on 7F or death at home. The asphalt road she was staring at from the pitch black heights of 7F, the non-normal. The building and town were still radiant with light, but at least I reported people going home. Although my awareness of it was still vague, already an inhabitant of 7F, already in a normal existence. The time is at a standstill. It's been so many seasons, so many white, overcast skies without the want or need to converse with anybody. At first I would look down at the healthy kids going to school and the people walking back and forth on the streets. And when I got tired of that, I always watched TV. Nothing else to do, nothing else I could do. Even when there was snow outside the window, it was always bright and sunny inside the TV screen. Jesus Christ, how many times are we gonna repeat the same thing? I dream while stretching out before my eyes without heat, without cold, without pain. I don't know what point we're trying to drive home here, but I feel like half this doesn't need to be in here. I sought comfort from my imagination, and so I amassed a huge knowledge base, meaningless trivia upon meaningless trivia over and over. Before I knew it, nothing that appeared on TV seemed real anymore. Quick succession all happened to books, games, and then my family. Finally, I was unable to view myself as anything real, as if I was staring at screens of another person's life. That's why I was not surprised even when they transferred me to 7F. If I but closed my eyes, the world would always vanish. So I thought I'd be fine, and I did as I thought. And soon enough, my second discharge from the hospital. By the time of my next admission, I'd probably be too weak to stand by myself. I found my own self, the one who couldn't do anything even though she knew this, to be pitiful. I found my own self, the one who had no destination, to be ridiculous.
時間を止め、心を止め、胸に大きな傷跡を作り、それでも
Oh,
22
so now we're
年も生きて
22.
きたのに
So we've been sick for
Nobody
about
has
2
one.
years, give or take. 2, 3 years. January 19th, 2005. But it still says 2005. That's an error, because we're 20 years left in year 20 in 2004. How are we 22 in 2004? That doesn't make sense. But it's just, one of those little errors. A few days after that, the overhanging clouds had cleared up, and the endless blue sky was in their place. Oddly enough, my father would come to visit, with the full expression on his face the entire time. He was saying something farther about my insurance, and at times his eyes were not unhappy at all. I have to talk to the doctors for a bit. Saying this, my father stared down the corridor. What's wrong with our insurance now? Towards that dim conference room where they had all begun, or it had seemed. My hospital room was now empty. Having nothing to do now, I reached for the weekly magazines that they brought at the stands for me. And accompanying them, just as ever, there were fruits and drinks and get-well gifts. The one side of the basket that the fruits were piled in, right in front of the melons that I so hated. What I saw was a set of car keys. Keys shown silver. There were keys to my father's pride and joy. The cup that he sweated over helped slowly drain outwards. The coupe that I had asked to borrow a long time ago, that I'd been told no without a single second delay, and my still unused driver's license in the breast pocket of my pajamas. Even after I lost its chance for use that day, remained with me waiting as if it were a proof of life. Hell yeah, let's steal them. A click. Perhaps I grabbed the keys. It happened as if on impulse. I had no idea what my motives were either. I just seized them without thought, as if I was looking at a scene on TV, and a few days worth of meds I'd been dispensed. I stuffed those into a bag, and I headed down the corridor. I snuck past the nurse's station and quickly strode toward the elevators. Bag in my right hand, the keys in my left, the driver's license in my breast pocket. In front of the lounge, and the next thing I saw was a girl sitting there watching TV as per usual, getting blankly and bored at that screen, sitting on a little foldable chair. Hey, that show any good?
そう見える。
No, not at all. You ought to expect an exchange. Her eyes looked as far away as they always had. Well then, shall we go together? I continued talking as I showed her the keys in my hand. See, I don't want it to be at home. And I don't want it to be on 7F either. Well then, shall we go together? With that, she stood up from her chair. Her hair swayed with her and grazed the tip of my nose. How? How did it graze the tip of my nose? And then she too stuffed a few days' worth of meds in a bag. We were made to leave 7F together. I switched off that boring TV. The grating laughter of the MC was forever obliterated. Both of us in pajamas boarded the elevator, headed down from this top floor down to 1F. At 1F, we headed not for the ER entrance, but for the outpatient clinic's entrance. The cool winter air struck away at our faces. Strong in a wide open space like the parking lot. Two of us wandered around the spacious field, looking about ourselves with unease. For a little while, we came across my father's car. My father's pride and joy, impeccably maintained. Immediately I inserted the keys and opened the door. Go ahead, get in.
分かった。
I sank into the driver's seat. She was in the passenger seat, but she was so short that she'd have a hard time seeing the road. How short is this girl if she's older than us? I turned the key in ignition and stepped lightly on the accelerator. This I learned during training. I worked at car zones. Very strong engine noises filtered into the cabin. I released the handbrake and then applied the clutch. Now we could go anywhere. That was our plan. Alright, let's go. Okay. Not excited. Instead of replying, I shifted into second gear. The car accelerated smoothly. For the clutch and swerving slowly, I advanced slowly. You're swerving. Yeah, it's my first time in a car. Well, it's the first time since I got my license that I've driven a car. Next, the parking lot was around view, and all of these roads beyond it without traffic lights. I turned onto it. Sound of a honking stop on smoothed directed me as I crossed into the road. Philip complained, but did not stop as I worked down familiar clutch the stiff gearbox. I must have really rubbed the other drivers the wrong way, as the honking horns did not seem likely to cease. But I just continued to drive without caring much. None of it quite seemed real at all. Hey,
何？
are you scared?
怖がった方がいい。
No, not really. Still before noon, the high-flying sun. The skies of January above and beyond the windshield, skies so blue that they seemed almost in mourning. We had no destination. On that cold day with an alien clutch in a swerving car. On that day when we drove onto the highway in our pajamas. On that very day of winter. January 19th, the Highway. A blazing sun changed to a dusky orange. We were continuing to drive, driving in any direction at random, and at a place I did not recognize. We were stopping for a bit. I finally brought the car to a halt. A roadside somewhere far away from civilization, no traffic anywhere to be seen, lonely. I stopped the car in this nameless place. I started inspecting around the cabin. If there was anything useful in here. I could run off without any preparation at all, but there was something troubling leaping out at me. With that on my mind, I first scoured the dashboard. There's nothing here at all. A couple hundred yen touched around the gear stick, a few manga volumes, and a cheap disposable camera. Wasn't as if we had a destination. The onboard GPS navigation system was broken. I only had about 8,000 yen on me. That was all the money I had lying around when I up and left. To combine with the pocket change I found, I only had 9,000 yen or so. Of course, I really expected there to be anything in the car anyway. The lack of money presented a problem. It would not be possible for us to find lodgings on this budget. It didn't seem like this girl would have any money on her either.
どうかした？
No, it's nothing. Yeah, whatever. I'd have expected this from the beginning. I couldn't have thought this through enough to have things like a plan or a schedule. I just wanted to get out right then and there. I did not want to stay where I was. Underneath the curtain of twilight, I started up the silver coupe again. Hey, are you hungry? I started as I drove along. Come to think of it, she hadn't eaten anything since morning. Want to stop at a convenience store or something? Hey, don't be like that. And the food's much better than anything up on 7F. She did not respond to me. Instead, she looked straight down as if the pink pajamas she was wearing. Oh yeah, that's right. Down in my own clothing. Sure enough, in these pajamas, we'd be conspicuous no matter where we were. Not that we weren't conspicuous right now. In any case, we'd have to do something about them. Having made my decision, I steered back towards civilization. After a little more driving, we arrived in a place whose name I didn't know. Probably somewhere close to a rail station. There weren't enough people around for it to be the case. There's gotta be one around here somewhere. I walked around anxiously as I drove, my back pitched a little forward, not touching the seat. But there one is. At last, a coin laundromat. It looked pretty run down from the outside on the first floor of a small, forlorn building. As good place as any. I stopped the car not far away from the entrance to this place. Alright, I'll be back in a second. Leaving her in a confused face in the car, I walked around the laundromat. My nose filled with the smell of bleach and detergent. The moment the automatic doors opened. The exterior of the laundromat had told no lie. The washers and dryers were old and run down as well. There's nobody here. The empty laundromat swallowed my whole, murmuring words. Only a single dryer was in operation, making its characteristic humming noises. I immediately walked to that machine and checked its timer. It looked like it would operate for 30 minutes on 200 yen. Only 5 minutes had elapsed so far. Whoever had it was probably gone elsewhere to kill some time. Ruminating over this, I looked around just one more time to reassure myself no one was around. When satisfied I was all alone, I put my hand on the door handle of the drying machine, and I reluctantly opened it. With its door open during operation, the dryer spun down to a forced halt. I woke up with half-dry clothing, ignoring the heat and humidity. After looking around one more to make sure no one was around, I walked out the laundromat just like that. Like a thud. I was slightly surprised that she saw my arms full of clothing. I threw the clothes in the backseat without a word. Alright, let's go. Whoa. I looked back at the bundle of clothing with the steering wheel in one hand. Funny looking sweaters and jeans and almost nothing else. All pretty big sizes of that. All still wet, but the car's heating would dry them out soon. I don't think that's how that works. Change into whatever you like. She didn't remember much clothes either. She just looked back at the pile of clothing. Obviously, it wasn't as if I liked doing this kind of thing. About saving that money for us. Given the amount we had, it would be very difficult to buy new clothes. After I drove for a bit around when the moon shone full above us, I looked for next to some public park. How much gas does this car take? Did we not occur? Did gas not occur to us? Probably a place for children to play, tucked away in the corner of a residential area. And there I sat, looking through the clothes I'd stolen some time back. They were mostly dry by now, thanks to the heating in the car. All men's clothing, after all. I inspected the heap once more. A veritable mountain of gaudy jeans and sweaters. Probably someone around my age, around the same size it looked like. And sitting in the driver's seat of the car, I changed into a pair of jeans and a sweater. Hey, you should get changed too. Then we go wearing pajamas forever. She answered reluctantly, grabbed some jeans and other clothes and opened the door. Hey, where are you going? Get changed. Yeah, that was fast. Today she'd be wearing in her hand a white shirt and a pair of jeans on her body. That turned out very well. No answer, I expected this, but everything was too big and baggy on her. These were too long, rolled up far up the cuffs, and the sleeves of the shirt were much the same way. Come now, don't say that. It was a little warmer this way, at least. I had only slightly dissatisfied face at my words. Oh, is that it? Were you hoping for more girlish clothes? Not really. The same response as ever. I'm sure she was unhappy with her baggy shirt, but as soon as she returned to her usual lack of expression. Swish. It began to rain all of a sudden. Pretty rain falling from frigid January skies that had forgotten how to stop. The countless raindrops spattering on the windshield and obscured the view from the inside. The waves grew too large, surface tension to hold it up, and fear them gathered, slipped down, and became rivers. And these rivers swallowed up the raindrops underneath them and stared emptily at the wind from the inside. A parking lot somewhere, a desolate place in the middle of the mountains. Having finished shopping at a convenience store, we were spending the night here. The dinner menu, 2 rice balls, Pocari Sweat. Hell yeah, Pocari Sweat. Half a bag of potato chips. It's been a long time since we last did anything like this. Hi. You remember with the convenience store rice ball in one hand? It wasn't anything of wonderful quality, but it was far better than anything served up in 7F. And when we were both going after potato chips, she suddenly stopped reaching for it. Something the matter? But her eyes were turned past the windshield, gazing by the rain. A few white flowers on the roadside. At some flowers soaked by rain. I didn't know if someone had planted them or if they were wild, but I remembered something about them. Were those Narcissus? Narcissus. I didn't know the flower names all that well. I at least heard of Narcissus. Yeah, because she told you about them. The girl who sounds spoke a single word was actually talking about something. So I followed along. Speaking of which, are these not exactly real deal as well? Yeah, something like that. So they must be pretty rare then. Not really, you can find them anywhere. Anywhere? And where exactly? It wasn't if I had deep purpose in asking. It was just that I was making conversation as best as I could. And yet this girl thought about it for a bit. I slowly opened her mouth. West? Kawaji Island is famous for them. Kawaji Island? Hey, wait. How far do you think that is? I'd just start driving a car, so I wasn't even halfway proficient yet. It was probably around 700 kilometers away, and even on the tollways I couldn't say how long it would take. And in the first place, I didn't think we had enough money for that. Not by normal highways instead of the tollways, there was no way we'd have enough gas. They don't say stuff like that. You can't mean to go there, right? What? I just answered your question. And just like that, she went back to staring at the flowers across the windshield. The thick haze of cool rain streaming on glass. She kept gazing and gazing and gazing. I didn't particularly want to go there either. But I had nowhere else I wanted to go. Chapter 3. My time was at a standstill. A crowd useless trivia. I'm not even gonna read read that,
地図を見るのは好
but
き
I
だ。
love looking at maps, trains, cars. I love things that take me places. I spread out maps on top of my narrow bed, changed routes over and over and over. Sedans, coupes, convertibles, rode on so many different kinds of cars. Number one route, continuing on forever. I ran on the road forever and ever and ever. Indigo blue skies, beautiful coastlines. I ran until I came at last to these places sketched in my dreams. Slowly tracing past the arc of a cape, running on the white sand of a beach, the sun on my back. But if I closed my eyes, I could go anywhere. Towards landscapes that I'd never seen in my own eyes, longing for the soil upon which I could never hope to tread.
虚しく憧れだけを募らせた。
January 21st. The sky after the rain. The high flying clouds screened by nice edge speeds. Unique swishing sound of tires on wet asphalt. There we were, driving along as always. No destination, just decided to keep going no matter what. Wasn't I looking to Awaji Island at all? We didn't even have the gas money to get there anyway. I was straight ahead on unfamiliar roads, even as I thought these thoughts. Where are we? I was forced to wonder. I didn't know my geography very well to begin with, and I was out seeing all sorts of place names I didn't recognize. I planned on driving until the ends of the earth, but with the GPS navigation system broken, I had no idea anymore. Before I knew it, I started looking around anxiously at the street signs as I drove. I don't know at all. What? Well, I don't know where we are right now. She'd said something to me, and I'd given her a casual response. But she'd probably think going to know even if I asked her.
来るなよ。埼玉県
Damn, she knew.
次の交差点を右に行けば16号線八王子へ出るわ。
You know all this? Do you happen to live around here or something?
別にそんなんじゃないわよ。
It was a surprise. No, it just wasn't surprising. It was nothing short of a miracle that she knew the roads to this detail. Because no matter how I looked at it, she didn't seem to have driven around all that much herself. Then it could be, do you know the way from here to Awaji Island?
質問の意味がわからない。
Well, see, we might be able to get there on normal highways without having to get on the tollways. And we might just have just enough gas money to get us there. Do you?
行きたいの？
Well, no, that's not what I meant.
じゃあ聞かないで。
Don't ask me. With those words, she fell silent. She turned to face the window with as frosty a demeanor as ever. But she was looking at the passing scenery. I felt she was staring at something at unreachable distance. Then don't ask me. Just what hell was that supposed to mean? Well, if you don't want to do something, then don't ask her. How would she have replied if I told her I was planning on going? Simply, no purpose, no aim. Let's have a plan or schedule from the get-go. I just didn't want to die on 7F or so fake homes. But I, and maybe I alone, must have wanted something to show us the way, no matter what that way might be. January 22nd. It's cold.
そうね。
From the beach whose name I didn't know, we reached the sea before we'd known it. Planning on heading west, but somehow looked like I ended up going south. Which back behind a cold waterfront. Both got out of the car, stared at the darkened sea. We stood apart from the as usual, staring in the distance. But a black sky and ocean melted into the horizon's edge. And after seemingly taking in the view of the ocean for a while, we slowly started walking towards the beach.
どうなると思う？
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
楽に死ねると思う？このまま海に入っていくの？
Those were her words as she slowly walked into those hands, her back turned to me. The third time was the end. There was was no fourth time. The choice was in between dying at 7F or dying at home. I'm not reading things I've already read. I don't like this repeating nonsense. That's why I felt this is what she had meant. It acts as if you need a recap. I don't know, I've never drowned before.
じゃあもしも私が海に入っていたなら頼んだ。
She turned her head to look at me as she said this, with the moon rising in the dark heavens as her backdrop. And her gaze, which had always been so far, was directed straight at me. I don't know. I'd have to see when the time came. Wow. He doesn't know if he'd stop her.
そうよね。
I guess so. But then turned her back and slowly started walking towards the sea once more. Hey, tell me.
何？
Nini? Do you want to be stopped? Upon hearing my words, she stopped short of the waves, strong wind kicking up a spray that beat against her feet. If you want to be stopped, then I'll stop you.
別にそんなんじゃないわよ。
He's not understanding what she's asking. Then it'll be fine if I don't stop you, right? Idiot boy. There was no reply to my question. Her feet did not move any further either. That was her answer then and there. The high, high heavens of winter. Blue and clear almost to the point of morning. Strong north winds beating against the electric wires overhead. Silver coupe reflecting like blue sky on its shining frame. With me at its wheel and with her in the passenger seat as per usual. I didn't know where this was, but our problem was that we were going to run out of gas soon. We didn't have much money to begin with, and after various convenience store purchases we had even less. Only about 7,000 yen left. Of course I had no idea how many liters this car took. We only had enough money to fill the tank once. We didn't really have a destination or anything, but if we didn't fill up, we could not go anywhere anymore. I'm gonna fill up on gas. I thought I'd turn the steering wheel and drove to a gas station that was coming into view. You're gonna pay in credit or cash? Cash, please. Regular or premium? Anything in this car? I've been a long time since those driving license classes. The two it was. Spoke from the passenger seat. Regular, please. Huh? Oh, okay, regular then. Paying with cash. Yeah, that'll be all. Okay, then thank you very much. Then it skillfully began his operation with those cheerful words. A strangely disagreeable smell of gasoline wafted in from the window I'd opened roughly 10 centimeters. Hey, are you sure this thing takes regular? She said nothing at all to this and just pointed at the prices list. Oh, so that's what it was. It was cheaper this way. It was some standard variable. I didn't think there was much difference in price. And then I saw the gasoline meter and the number of liters being displayed. Numbers were going by at incredible speed. Maybe I'd made a mistake. I began to get a little worried as watched those numbers climb. I told him to fill a tank a while back, but I didn't have that much money on hand. Even with the coins, I only had about... Yeah. What was I going to do if I didn't have enough money? I did a quick calculation and realized that after 60 liters, I wouldn't have enough. 38, 39, 40, 41. The numbers kept climbing without slackening pace at all. Getting more and more worried over something I usually didn't give a second thought to. How many liters does this thing take? I thought the words out before I knew it.
大丈夫よ。
Don't worry, it'll be over soon. Huh?
50リッターだから。
Damn, this girl's smart. Just said gasoline will start between 47 and 48. Found a receipt being printed out and the attendant at my window again. Thank you for waiting. The total comes to 524 yen. Oh, okay. Took out a 50 yen note and a crumpled $100 yen note from my pocket and handed it to the attendant. Alright, then your change comes to 760 yen. Here's your receipt. Thank you for your business. Turned straight onto the road upon hearing the attendant's cheerful voice. The silver coupe now in motion once more. On the bright side, I was no longer worried about running out of gas. On the not so bright side, we only had about 2,000 yen left. This worried me. There was something that preoccupied me much more. Hey, question. So clearly you're an expert on car store. What do you mean, not really? You know about this car with 50 liters of gas, didn't you? Of course, you may have some absolute common knowledge that I just didn't have. She told me that she was an expert on these roads not so long ago. I didn't stop by surprise twice now. I took out the vehicle specification from the glove compartment. Of course, you know the make and model of this car as well, don't you?
これは
Is
質
that a
問
question? You can think of it as a quiz if you want.
インテグラタイプ R
And the specs?
99年式高速ミッション
I no expectation that she'd actually answer. I'm almost involuntarily following along on the vehicle spec sheet as she routed off figures with total disinterest.
全長4380
Damn! This girl's a super genius.
1695まだ言う
No, that's alright, you're correct. The vehicle spec sheet back in its place. I don't believe my ears, but she had every single specification. I don't think one could memorize these things, and I couldn't even venture a guess as to why she had. Right before my eyes, she had gotten every single spec correct. And thinking back to the roads and flowers, it was getting the impression she knew a lot about a lot. Hey, just why do you know so much about everything?
あなたより年上だからよ
With that bare response, she went back to her usual silence. They're staring out the window again. I didn't find myself able to throw any more questions at her. It really didn't look that way at all, but this was something she said before, too. Around when the sun started peeking out from underneath the clouds. The silver coupe speeding along. My destination. Only about 2,000 yen left. Alright, so now what do you want to do?
質問の意味がわからない
I mean that we have no more money left.
だから
Answer, and I'm changing as ever. In this conversation we were having about eating rice balls bought at a convenience store not long ago. Finally, the fact that even when we were driving along with this, we were using up gasoline little by little. Maybe it might be better to stay still without doing anything at all. What's up? Stay still without doing anything, without shooting for anything. I kept driving with those feelings at heart. I kept driving on normal highways, but ran out of gas in about 3 days. Likewise, we only had enough for 3 to 4 days worth of food with the 200 yen we had left. But I was still too poor to do anything soon enough. Hey, you want to try to go to this OG island? No reply, she just kept staring out the window as per usual. I think I might want to. Why? Well, that's not really safe from 7F for any goal or destination. That's why I wanted to go on a destination, because anything was fine with me. Around in the daylight, I've given over to the darkness of the night. I stopped to park the parking lot of a pachinko parlor. I'd say I wasn't planning on winning any money for pachinko or slots. I knew there wasn't much money I could do on just 200 yen alone. But if I'm skillful enough, I might just be able to spare 10,000 or 20,000 yen. That was my guess based on how many times I've been at pachinko parlors in the past. If I only had that much, we'd be okay in the first place, and we might even be able to get to OG Island on that amount. Okay, yep, I just thought of it. How about it? Want to try it out? Okay, very well. I expected her, but she shot me down immediately. I had no hope that she'd cooperate with me in the first place. I told her about my plan as a fake apple pie, not because I wanted her to eat in it. Alright then, wait here. I got out of the car and strode into the pachinko parlor alone. It was more crowded than I thought. Lots of pachinko balls, lots of people, and more importantly, cash boxes crowded everywhere. No place as any. On thinking this, I headed over to the slots machines. I spent in the quarter for a while. After I finished my survey, focused on one set of machines. Lots of middle-aged Cybermen, alright, up to 4 boxes at their feet and up to 2 on the racks above them. and an empty stand separating each of them. What I see before, these men hadn't come with acquaintances or friends, but satisfied the requirements. Perhaps a place like this no one will notice if I swipe one of those cash boxes. Homie gonna just steal one. Oh lord. Homie gonna get kidnapped by the police. In a store like this, each one probably held 20,000 yen or so. Just that much. I kept waiting there for one of the salarymen to go to the bathroom. After well over 30 minutes had passed, the salaryman finally stood up from his seat. I tailed him a bit to make sure he was going to the bathroom. I dashed back to the stand that he'd occupied, watching the people parading the slots at the end of the attendance. I slowly approached that stand. Then, so as not to raise any suspicion, as if it were the most natural thing in the world, I swiped one of those cash boxes underfoot. Clink, clink, clink. The coins scattered everywhere with a thunderous noise. Shit. Look at him trying to steal the shit. Dude fucked up real bad. I've been meaning to pick it up. Never been able to bear that weight. The cash box crashed onto the floor. My emotion was all about. That was all behind me. Can't. Yeah, because we're sick, remember? Imagine an exertion and hurry and floored the pedal. Let's get away. The sun. Bam, crunch, crunch. Eek. Make my getaway. That's a horrible crunching sound. Pant, 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 sigh. My sudden constricting out of my chest and the silver coops, being out the daylight and in the darkness. I heard about the crash a little while ago, but I had to step from that place now. Soon, after 10 minutes of this, a fair distance away from the pachinko parlor.
大丈夫
Yeah, it doesn't look too serious. It was just bumping the roof under a small crack in the muffler. Didn't look as if there would be any problems driving like this. Sigh. I let out a sigh, somewhat relieved. That sucked. Got back to what just happened in the pachinko parlor. I slipped up there, but if I had been a little more skillful, I might have pulled it off. No! You don't have the arm strength no more to be picking up 20,000 yen. In coins, mind you. The reason I wasn't able to hold on to the gas flash was when I lost I lifted something heavy. If I held onto it with all my strength at the outset, I might have been able to make it.
勘違いしてるわね
Huh?
今のあなたは
You can't do what the former
そんな
you
あな
could
た
have.
と違う
Look as if she seemed straight through me. I kind of wait.
同じように考えない方が
Perhaps she was right. I didn't want to admit how changed I was. Fair enough. I hadn't expended all I could grow this week. Then what should I do? No answer. Eyes turned in silence towards the window to stare in the dark night sky. That's probably the way she was telling me to give up. Chapter 4, The Emerald Sea. My time at standstill, my heart at a standstill.
心情報だけを
I spent gazing at a map. One day, the usual monthly magazines that photograph on the front covered through my eyes. In my bottle and a showy swimsuit, provocative posted on a sandy beach. Smile captured right before the emerald sea that I'd always dreamed about. She was probably right. Smiling happily and cheerfully with her outstanding figure. It wasn't as if I was jealous or anything. I didn't own any swimsuits to begin with, and I didn't come close to having any need for them. My pajamas were perfect.
季節
Playing as a girl?
誰とも言葉を交わす必要もなく過ごした
I remember that day, June on the first day of middle school, the day of my first hospitalization. I remembered having ordered a swimsuit. I remember having done it so several years ago. I remembered that swimsuit had lost its opportunity to be used. I took that school swimsuit. It was the day I bought it, out of the drawer where it had patiently waited for years. took off my usual pajamas and timidly put on that navy blue swimsuit. Okay, so I still don't understand the time frame because it's like 2004, 2005. It makes it that it started then, so it's only been like sick for a little bit. What it sounds like is we've been sick since middle school. And I was shocked. It had already been years, and yet it hit me as if it had been made for me that very day. And that swimsuit model was smiling at me warmly, smiling at me from the midst of the emerald sea. Smiling at me warmly and happily with that beautifully womanly figure. It was saddening. It wasn't if I was jealous now. The truth is that I started yearning for it. Yearning for the impossible, stubbornly, because I knew that it was absolutely impossible. Something that let us go through puberty? I'm not sure what she might have. The huge scars on my chest were telling me just to give up.
諦めろと諭した。
Question mark?
生涯の伴侶は
My scars were telling me to go back to my world of closed eyes. January 22nd. It was already January 22nd. Around the time the sun slowly arched down and dyed the western horizon orange. Around the bird as usual. What should we do now? We really had no more money left to spare.
あなた。
As I thought about these things, she caught my best rise by crying out to me. We don't even know our own name.
お風呂は入
Are
れ
you
る。
allowed to soak in baths? Yeah, they said I could go ahead unless I was a long protracted bath. What she meant by allowed and what it meant by they, so the doctors didn't caution us against it. There have been many who have been forbidden to do so due to kidney or digestive tract issues. Now that I thought about it, the problem was in her circulatory system, just like me. What do you want to? Well, do you want to take a bath? No, kind of wanted to as well. So we didn't have money to stay at a hotel or inn. Do you want to stop by a public bathhouse?
銭湯。
Sento? Guess we got money for that at least. No, it's fine. What do you mean fine? It's already been 3 days since we escaped from 7F. We were allowed to bath twice a week there, and we had sponge baths twice a day as well. Damn, how sickly are we that we had sponge baths twice a day? Then again, we weren't getting very sweaty given the season, and since we were in a car that weren't getting dirty. Could it be that it's embarrassing for you to be in public bathhouse?
そんな意味じゃない。
It's her scars. Around the time when the sun had completely disappeared and the moon left largely in the night sky, some distance away, I found something that looked like a school. This would have to do. I stopped the car before the gates, and then I rummaged in the backseat through a clump of clothing there. And remembering correctly, there were 2 to 3 towels in this heap. And then after sifting through a bunch of clothes, I found a hand towel after all. It had the legend Shirashi Construction written on it, probably one of those appreciation gifts they gave out like candy. Alright, then wait a bit. Taking 2 towels with me, I headed towards the school. Climbed over the closed gates and looked around anxiously for my target. Oh, there it is. I found a water faucet station, probably for gardening use. Squeak, squeak. Turned the knob and the cold water poured out of the faucet. Water cold enough to freeze me stiff. Wet the 2 towels and squeezed them out. Thud. Sorry for the wait here. I handed over one of the 2 towels to her, and then I took off my sweater and started washing myself. The cold wet towel felt pretty good inside the warm heating of the car. Here, you go ahead and clean yourself up. Yourself too. Feels nice and cold too. Okay. There's a little work done at first, but then she's slowly starting to do her buttons. Her jeans were all too big for her. Unlike me, she simply washed herself by retracting her hands into the shirt. Say, what is it?
見ないでよ。
Look. Oh, sorry. That's right. Remember with the towel in her hand, she had clothing half on, half off. It was the first time I'd seen her look like that, a little annoyed, a little embarrassed. Inside the car, our backs turned to each other. Hey, feel pretty good, eh? Inside the car, shrouded in the darkness of the night, drying myself off, I reflected in the glass of the windows. The tower reflected her in the back towards me, drying herself off as I was. She'd taken off her shirt just as I had. Didn't mean to look, but I could just see big scars on her chest. Probably post-surgical. Didn't know what for, but they were much larger than mine.
ねえあなた
Titties, man, titties. Huh? Oh, what is it?
そんなに
Is it
珍
that
しい
strange? My back turns when speaking to me. Reflected in the window. Oh no, she touching peeking. January 25th. Okay, so that's 3 days. Seven people motion underneath the cloudy skies. Driving around without destination. Nothing had really changed. I luckily found a blue cup with an air bath. Since then, it seemed devoid of people we were able to take a bath after all. Other than that, we were out of money. We were running out of gas again. Are you getting tired?
別に
We exchanged these words while eating convenience store-bought rice balls. They might have been tastier than anything up at 7F. They were becoming pretty boring by now. We didn't have enough money to get anything but this kind of meal.
音が
What is it all of a sudden?
車の
Cars
音
sounding louder than before. Oh yeah, fair enough. It was probably because I cracked the muffler when I was escaping from the pachinko parlor. I hadn't really noticed it, but sure enough, the car was sounding louder. Not really a real impediment to driving. The bigger problem was the gas. I had been driving for 5 minutes since the meter had bottomed out at empty. I only had 900 yen left, and like last time, this obviously was not enough. And if the car stopped due to lack of gas, we'd be able to do nothing anymore. Having decided, I looked for a gas station, and one was self-service. Having found one, I stopped the car next to the nearest pump. I'm gonna get some gas. Don't get out of the car. The message probably knew what I meant by that. I opened the gas can cap and sneaked in a gas hose. I looked around the station, a little building with an attendant within. Probably to get payment and give back change. Finding the notice on the wall, you were supposed to take the receipt from him when done. Right now, if we wanted. Is what I felt as I looked around the quiet gas station. Too slowly, it seemed, unlike last time. Fill up a little bit faster. And after the meter hit 40 right before the tank was full. Welcome. For some reason, Bennett, who had just been in the building up until now, was coming rushing towards us. Sir, are your tire pressure and ashtrays okay? Jesus Christ, I forgot how needy the self-serve gas stations can be because they want to make all the extra money. Huh? Oh, yes they are. I say, well, it's cold out, so please be careful. Trying to take good care of us. Yes. Oh, no, it's nothing.
Hi.
Go ahead and use it. She promptly produced an envelope and then took a 10,000 yen note and gave it to me. You have money on you? I never thought that she had any. Because that we'd had so many hardships on until now. Why didn't you tell me?
あなた聞いた
He didn't ask, to be fair. Huh? Oh, well, no.
聞かれなか
She
ったか
didn't
ら
ask. With that, she turned back in silence to the window. The recoup in motion once more. The tank was full again, and we had a 5,000 yen note as change. Japan was weighing heavily on my mind. Hey, you know. Hey, is this all of it? Clark spinning for the envelope to me. Can I use this?
別に
I looked into the envelope. There was 4 10,000 yen notes inside. This would be enough. Now there was something entirely different on my mind. Why did she have this money on her? Just a couple thousand yen I'd brought with me, just whatever I had on hand at the time. But in case you prepared this all in advance. Hey, you know. You said you didn't want to die on 7F, right?
家だって嫌よ
You're not telling me either. Yeah, same here. So where exactly did you want to go? Can you prepare that money just for that purpose? Something earlier? That's good. In truth, is there somewhere you wanted to go?
別に
That's not much of an answer.
どこもないわよ
There isn't anywhere? That's all she murmured, desolate, sadly. As if that was the case, had she planned for a trip all by herself without having any destination in mind this entire time? It did make me wonder who was doing such a lonely thing. At her lonely-looking profile, I found my answer. She would.
あなたはどうなの
Me? Not really, though.
真似しないでよ
Imitate me. I'm not imitating you. Driving along without a destination. One had escaped from 7F without a second thought. The other had made futile preparations without a destination. But right now, anywhere is fine with me, but I want to go somewhere. At least for me, I wanted a path to follow. I was fine with anything as long as it was a path. Hey, about that elephant island you were talking about. Together with the money we have, really anywhere would have been fine as long as it wasn't home. 7 hours. As long as we could get there. Couldn't just wander around aimlessly. I wanted to head towards a destination, no matter what that destination was. How about you? Want to try doing it?
別に
With that, she turned back to the window as her usual silent fashion. The same eyes, the same as ever, looking somewhere in the distance. That's what she was hoping for when she came with me. Oh my god, there's more to this game.
"地図を見るのは好きだった」
I think this is all I'm going to play for this game. This is the first of the 2 games. I might play more another time. But for now, that's a nice little taste of this game. And until next time, I will see you guys later.
"一つくらい好きにさせてよ」そこ左折左に曲がってこれが1号線悪い 次が欲しいわけじゃ。なんでもないわよ。愛知県よ。まもなく名古屋市内に入るわ。次の交差点、22号線に入って。私はあっちってどう？変じゃない？別に。次で21号線に入って。何？別に多分ね。最初に死ぬって聞かされた時、 時。じゃあどうして自分だけって運命をたどった？私は平気だった。だって最初から何も望んで、私は諦めていたから。前に見た映画で言ってた。狼は3年しか生きないって。でもロバはそういうことらしいの。どうかした？この先はわからない。ねえ、どう思う？うん。海より楽な気がする。だってはい、あまり止めない。そうかな。ここから1号に戻ってね。ねじゃあ高速に乗る？確かにギリギリまでならいけるけど、でも最終的には必ず有料道路。じゃあ草津から 焦りがオーバービュー。ストローへ草。青い眉の巣。日産アトラス。そう。でも私ちょっと疲れ。薬が切れた。昨日の夜私うん。 大丈夫。うん。で、ジャンクションから。うん。うん。駐停車禁止。わかった。どうかした？うん。何よ。年下のくせに。 大丈夫。知ってるわよ。うん、わかった。わかってるわよ。そうなの。ほら、でも。ありがとう。ねえ、あかり。うん、そうだね。うん。別に。それとも、あなたがさ、じゃあ、わかった。うん。うん。 綺麗。うん、多分。あなた、7回それともいい？うん。うん。もともと誰からも愛されるナルシス。妖精のエコーも、そんな彼が好きな一人だったの。でもエコーは、相手と同じ言葉しか話せない。そう。先に彼の口から、愛してるってエコーは、自分の気持ちを伝えることができないの。でも、どんなに夢見て、最後には、ナルシ、うん。そして、いつしか、綺麗、それがこの花。ないわ。呪いをかけるときに、消えちゃったから。どうかした？うん。時間の止まった私。いつから私は、目を閉じても、世界は消えない。 傷は深ければ深いほど、それならば長い時間をかけて、じゃあ22年も生きた私はどうなるのだろう。いいから、どうせ別の場所。別に別に別に前向きになって晴れるわけないじゃないの。憧れて、でもその時に無理だったねって笑って言えるほど私にできることは最初から諦めて何も望まずにいて、やっぱり無理だったのは冷めあの時頑張っていたら自分にとっての最初から無理だと分かった。それぐらい ないんじゃ。ねえ、うん。でも、わかった。何よ、年下のくせに。そんなこと。それじゃあ、うん。あ、うん。わかった。ね。うん。それじゃあ。 しかった日のこと、そんな冬の日のこと。